Hey guys, True Zombie Slayers here, and I'm going around with my measurements for a 45 ACP derringer hardened paper. Obviously, that's what I like doing. I'm just getting my measurements right, getting everything. This is currently what would be how big the breech is: 1.5 inches, and then 0.61 inches across. And yeah, that's will be where the firing pins will be. That space is where the barrel sits, how much space is in between each barrel. And I should write that on there. It's on a separate thing along with my it's on the template for my magazine, which was because I wanted to try to start it out this, but yeah, my numbers are all added up to the correct spots. And so yeah, on that space, the bottom where the barrel and the breech would actually touch, that is 0.14. So I'm actually write that down here in a second. But yeah, I don't think I can do this without touching the thing. 0.14. Same thing with the up top. 0.14. Those are both inches, honestly. And then in the middle here, it is 0.28. So 0.28 inches across. And then in the middle of all of those two is, I would say, a marking of where the hole goes. But yeah, if when I finish, yeah. So like, I don't know if I already said it. My memory's weird. That is the length of where the edges of the barrel will touch on both top, and then same thing with up and down the top parts of both barrels once they're glued together. But yeah, I'm gonna make a 45 SCP derringer. Should be done before the AR because I'm still working on it, but this should be done way before the AR because it's smaller. And about time I actually start, I have all the parts for my 3D printer. So this is just based off what I have so far, and from that I can take that and basically start putting it all into. I can start drawing it all out. I'm gonna draw it out on this Captain French thing, and yeah, I don't know how well y'all can hear me because I'm using a headset, and it's a loud headset, so I kind of had to move the actual part where it takes sound in. I had to move it away from my face, but yeah, I'm talking pretty loud, so it should catch it. But yeah, that's all I got is breech. There's still gonna be material on the sides and everything on top, and yeah, so. But what I'm designing is basically where the barrels will flip down instead of being flipped up. You flip them down, and the shells can be spring loaded straight up. Because once you flip it, it should, depending on the way that I make it, it might have a spring that just tosses it. It might have a spring that just tosses it, and it flips them out. It'll push them out like a revolver pushes its shells out when you press the little spring tab. But mine's just gonna be flip, like Olympia double barrel shotgun per se. How once the barrels go down, it kicks shells out. I'm gonna do it like that. But yeah, if you guys enjoy my videos, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll send updates on this here soon, hopefully around next weekend, because that's when I get all my stuff. And I should have another AR update because once I get my 3D printer and set up all the once I get the stuff to finish my 3D printer off to make it work right, then yeah, I'll post some videos because I basically already designed it, but it's gonna be the cartridge 45 and a 300 blackout, and there's gonna be no bullet, just rifling to a certain degree. It's gonna have a certain amount of rifling in it, designed into it. And once I print, so it's like, let me grab something so I can actually explain to y'all. And I'm gonna grab my first 3D print that I've done on it too while I'm at it. So basically, it's gonna be like the barrel, whatever it's going to be. So this thing is the same size as the bore of, well, it's a little bit smaller, but 45 sits over it. In general, so couple of like a millimeter or two smaller, but yeah, in general, that's how the rifling will be, to take up that couple of millimeters, just barely. And yeah, it's my first 3D print. This was meant, it stopped right there, almost halfway through it. But yeah, it is meant to go, obviously, on the back of here. It would have been somewhat around that much shorter. I would have took a wooden dowel and shoved it on there, and then printed off my actual stock piece and put that on there, and it would have been fixed. No retraction or nothing like that. You can't retract the stock, obviously, because of the way that this is designed. You can see that hole doesn't go all the way through. But either way, I'm going to make a paper stock for it. And when I make the paper stock, I'm probably going to remake this so that that's inside of the paper stock, just for simplicity and ease of use. So I'll still be able to click that back and untwist it, but the stock will be paper, and I gotta redo that anyway. But yeah, the stock will be paper instead of plastic, because I really want to keep as much plastic and metal away from this as possible. Only two pieces of metal would be this, and then the reinforcements in the trigger and the trigger spring. Other than that, there's no metal in this. The only metal in this is just the firing pin. Just the firing pin. Nothing else. Yet. Because the only other metal is going to be part of the ejector, which I haven't cut out yet. Well, milled out. The ejector is going to be have metal in it, just because it'll last longer that way. And then the spring and plunger for the ejector, and the spring for the extractor. But yeah, those would be metal, and that's pretty much all. Oh yeah, the magazine spring probably will be metal, depending on what I can do with paper. And you can do a lot with paper too, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna make a 45 ACP derringer. My barrels are gonna be made in a certain way to where it's like, I don't know if I already explained it, but it's like tin foil, and then the layer of glue, then the regular paper, so that hopefully all the residue from the powder will be wiped away from the next bullet shot through, or in general you can just wipe it out. And yeah, I kept going after I said my usual outro, but yeah, say it one more time just in case. Well, just because, if you guys like the video, please consider subscribing, and hope y'all had a good day. Goodbye.